Hello and welcome along to the Sportexpressshow. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. It is a few days after the Champions League final, but we're going to talk about it because we haven't touched on it really. And we called it. We called the predictions.
Yes.
It was spot on. Bayern Munich.
Well, as usual, let's be honest.
A win for Bayern Munich, their 6th Champions League title in their history, beating PSG by a goal to 0. We called it.
We did call it.
Yeah.
But where we were wrong, we must admit, was the scoreline.
Definitely. A very cagey game. A typical final that a lot of people might expect to happen. I mean, both sides, they didn't really want to make any mistakes in the first half.
Yes.
But Bayern did dominate the second half and they kicked on and scored the winning goal.
It was like you just stated, the first half was a case of making the least mistakes.
Yeah.
And but having said that, let's be honest, PSG, they had their chances.
They did.
And in fact, I would say they had more chances than Bayern did. Clear-cut chances to score, and they just cocked up.
They did.
They cocked it up proper.
I feel like people are not talking about this a lot. Did PSG choke? Because I mean, we almost forgot that it's their first final. You know, they had such a good team with such a great attack, a pretty much balanced team with defense and attack. But they were in the final for the first time. As much as they had experienced campaigners, Neymar has played in the final before. Mbappe has played in a World Cup final. But did they actually choke on the game? Especially the two guys I'm mentioning now, Neymar and Mbappe.
Yeah, no, they did. They did big time.
Yeah.
They choked. They choked harder than the Proteas in the Cricket World Cup. So it was one of those situations where you sort of expected from Neymar. For some reason, I expected from Neymar, but Mbappe was the one that I could not understand because, like you just stated, I mean, he's a World Cup winning lighting.
He had a terrible game.
And he had a terrible game. I mean, there is no other pressure cooker like the World Cup final. So for him to perform in the World Cup final the way he did,
in the Champions League.
And not in the Champions League. For me, it was like, what is going on here? They had clear-cut chances, but even before that, they were just lackluster. They wanted the Mbappe and Neymar and Di Maria. Well, Di Maria was nowhere to be found.
I mean, he didn't finish the game as well.
He didn't finish the game as well, so that gives you an indication of how he really performed. They choked. Quite simply put, they choked.
And how good were Bayern Munich? Because first off, I think it was pretty much more even though PSG had more chances to score. But in the second half, I feel like the German machine started working.
They just controlled.
They imposed themselves.
They
imposed their personality on the game.
Yes, they did. They realized. I think that also gave them a confidence boost. I mean, because if you go back and watch that first half, just the first half, count the number of attempts, clear-cut attempts, or clear-cut chances that PSG had and did not take. That, to you as a Bayern Munich player or management, will give you confidence that these guys are not up for it.
And you don't do that against Bayern.
You don't do that against Bayern. So, them being like that and Bayern feeding off their mistakes or their lack of scoring, I think it just boosted their confidence. It just went all the way up. And second half, you saw it was just a clear-cut domination of Bayern Munich on PSG. The midfield was on lockdown. And after that, Neymar with his cute flicks and tricks, and they were gone, Baba. They were gone.
You know what disappointed me the most with Neymar?
What?
I mean, I don't think he had the worst of games.
No.
He was in the game, but I just feel like, you know, when Koeman scored the goal, I just had a feeling that he just gave up on the inside. He dropped his head. He wasn't pressing as much as he did. PSG were pressing in the first half.
They were.
And as soon as Bayern scored the goal, it was almost like
everything just went down.
They were like, okay, you're won it. It's fine. That's it.
So that in fact that's a great point that you point out. And obviously the team is built around Neymar. So if it's built around Neymar and Neymar drops his head, then the whole team will be like, well, if he drops his head, what chance do we have? But I do want to make a mention on Ander Herrera, the way he was at some point bossing the midfield.
In the first half.
In the first half. He was absolutely bossing the midfield, and I'm crying inside as a Man United fan and saying, why? Why did we sell him? Because even when we sold him, I was like, why?
It didn't make sense, right?
It didn't make sense, and this confirms it in that final as to the fact that it doesn't make even more sense the way he performed in the final. So kudos to him. Yes, it doesn't get anything for his performance, unfortunately, but he played well. And in fact, I wasn't counting on him to have a great game because it's always Neymar, Mbappe, and Co. But he really picked up his hand
and it literally ended in tears. But let's look at PSG now, because I go back to Liverpool because I'm a Liverpool fan.
Yes.
We lost the 2017 final against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Jurgen Klopp had the energy and the drive within him to push once more.
Yes.
And we won it the following season.
Yes.
Do PSG have that in them?
No.
Why do you say that?
No. They just don't.
Are you serious?
No, they don't.
Why do you say that?
I just feel like because when things are going to go back to their natural form in the Champions League and there's going to be second legs, they haven't gotten through the second leg phase. They haven't gotten through the second leg hiccup. And I'm not confident enough for me to say, yeah, they'll get over it because they reached the final.
Don't you think the experience they got this season, though? Should get, I mean, come on. Surely they'll be one of the favorites going into the Champions League next season.
Based on the fact that they made it to the final, but not based on their previous Champions League experiences, no.
No,
it's not, and they're not even. They're not even.
Yeah.
For me, for their final next season when everything gets back to normal is a semi-final. That's their final. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. Yeah. I'm not even regretting what I'm saying right now.
Hey,
I hope they
good thing we have it on tape here, son.
It doesn't matter, son.
You're making some predictions.
I'm telling you now, they're not gonna make it. I think they've gone as far as they can. I think it's the same syndrome with Upep and City. I think this one's their one shot.
Okay, I agree with that one, but the PSG one,
they still bottlers. Let me ask you this question: who are worse bottlers of the of the Champions League between PSG and Man City?
No, it has to be Man City.
It has to be Man City.
It has to be Man City.
Are you serious?
City have reached the semi-finals once.
Are you serious?
And look at the teams that knocked them out in the Champions League. They got knocked out by Monaco. They were knocked out by Tottenham last season. Tottenham. And this season, Lyon. Come on. At least PSG made the final this season. When is City making the semi-finals?
I know.
Well,
here's one thing that is conclusive. None of them are gonna make it to the final.
Okay, looking at how things go in both legs, PSG are probably the bigger bottlers because they always capitulate in the second leg.
Definitely.
But looking at overall Champions League in the last 10 years, no, it has to be City.
Well, one thing's for sure.
City don't even make the semis.
None of them are going to make it. So they've only made it to the semis once, where it was against Real Madrid and they lost.
So
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
All right, Bayern Munich, 100% record in the Champions League. First team to ever do that.
Ever.
44 goals in 11 games. Sanele.
It's
ridiculous, my guy. Ridiculous.
Look, I mean, to say ridiculous is an understatement. I know we always say this, but I mean, if you just think about it. It doesn't make sense. But they did the impossible, and they deserved winners for me. I mean, there were people who doubted the team because of Kovac's style of play. But I mean, once he moved out the way and Flick came in, I mean, he flicked the switch.
It took him 9 months.
Yeah, it
literally
did.
9 months.
And considering where he got them from, he didn't get them when they were number one. They were down on the table. Well, not that far down, obviously. They were fourth or third, somewhere there. And he turned it around and he made them this well-oiled German machine. And they won.
Who's gonna stop them, bro?
I don't see anyone right now.
Looking at the situation of Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're nowhere to be seen in the next few years, I imagine. And who's gonna stop them?
For me, it's very possible for Bayern to do what we did as Real Madrid.
Go for 3 in a row.
Go for, well, maybe not a 3. that was a special team. But do it consecutively.
A double.
Yeah, I really do, because looking at across the board, who's up there? Nobody's up there. We can't count on Juventus. No, we can't count.
I think you could probably say PSG, Liverpool, City. The teams that could possibly
throw City out. So mention those two. Because in as much as I'm bagging on the PSG, shame. Let's be honest. They put in good teams.
And Liverpool have European pedigree, so
they do. So they'll
out.
always be a threat. But apart from that, I don't want to lie to you. I don't see a team right now toppling them.
Yes. Before we leave, we're going to talk about the Europa League final as well, because that was on Friday. We didn't touch on it, and again we called it Sevilla beating Inter Milan by 3-2. It was an entertaining final.
It was.
A very good one. Lukaku scoring both for Inter and Sevilla.
I mean, he had a phenomenal match.
Phenomenal game.
I mean,
scoring for both sides.
Twice on the score.
That was amazing.
No, it was.
Yeah, we called it again. Sevilla, Europa League, same story.
I mean, they just proved it again. I mean, they have a love affair with this trophy. Every final that they've played in the Europa League, they've won. So there's nothing really else to say but the fact that we called it and we were right.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think the disappointing thing for them is that they've won it now, which means they won't be playing in it next season.
Yeah.
Well, they could still finish third in the Champions League and come back and win it again.
Exactly. I think it's that strong of a bond between the Europa League and Sevilla. But congratulations to them for what, 6 times now?
6 times. More than any other team in history.
And I don't see another team doing that, to be honest with you. So congratulations to Sevilla. And yeah, we called it. Guys, thank you again for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll catch you again next week.
Adios.